Welcome, and thank you for being here to join us. We like to start with drumming because it brings up for us sort of a basic human sense of deep experience that goes beyond words and goes beyond our other everyday experience. And when we do men's retreats, we usually like to start with the drums because it sort of puts us in a different place, puts us in a mood and an energy that helps us to drop down into that more basic, deep energy.
And it's damn fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
That too. So we want to welcome you here today. Thank you for coming. We're grateful to the library for hosting us. And we're going to be talking about our work, Healing the Boy, Strengthening the Man. And we're going to be talking about the ways that we look at the boy and the man. But first of all, we really want to talk a little bit about why we're here. So I'm going to let Richard start with that.
Yeah. Tom and I have been doing this now for a while, and we like to start off with why are we here? And then maybe you can figure out why you're here, or if you want to stay. Welcome. When I feel into why I'm here, it goes back to childhood and pain. The pain of living small, the pain of living isolated, the pain of loneliness. And when I feel into that, I think that, please come on in. I think that references everything that I'm devoted to in this men's work that Tom and I collaborate with is the wounded boy he lives a very contracted life, and he lives a life that's completely self-referenced, and it's a sad place. It's a very sad place. So when I think about what motivates me here, it's a lot of it's in gratitude of having met mentors and people that have made a big difference in my life, that enlarged it, that blessed me, that kicked my butt back into the sacred circle of life, I like to call it. So why I'm here is to pass that on. And I really like this guy. I love this man. And we have a really good time. So, yeah, it's very alive for me. I couldn't do this if it was an assignment. It's really alive for me. And I absolutely love this work. And I love to watch people awaken, men that are in my circles, men that are in our retreats, come alive. So we'll talk a little bit more about how that happens. But why are you here, brother?
Well, we set the date and we promised to be here. But that's one of the things that men sometimes do, is they live up to their obligations. But this is much more than an obligation for me, too. This is my love. This is my life's work, and I love working with this guy, too. We really enjoy being together and working together. I also really just enjoy being with men and working with men. It's something that I didn't set out to do early in my career. It just kind of came along, and as the years have gone on, now it's been over 20 years I've been doing this kind of work, I've just really gotten to enjoy it, and I feel like I'm deepening into it all the time. And I also have a concern about our society, because I think there's something that we're not dealing with well, and that is adolescence. And I want to talk a little bit about that for a moment. Because when you think about, I'm going to be talking about adolescent boys, I'm going to be referring to adolescent boys, but it really refers to girls too in a large sense. I say, I'm focusing on boys because that's who Richard and I work with, is boys and men. But when someone is at that time where this is a chance for a boy to start becoming a man, he has new capabilities at this time in adolescence that he didn't have as a child. He can reflect on his life. He can think about himself thinking about himself. He can understand metaphors and symbols. He can understand abstract principles. He can, if he so chooses, anticipate the possible consequences of considered behavior. And he can think in more subtle, complex, and sophisticated ways. And because of this, he has the possibility of envisioning ideals, creating values, of understanding himself in relationships. He can develop a crush. He can imagine possibilities, and he can begin to create a way of being in the world. Now, this is a lot to be doing. It's a tall order. And most adolescents who come to this are not prepared for it. And we are not prepared as a society to help them. We're not prepared very well. And so, consequently, at a time when this young person could be learning emotional skills, skills in conflict resolution, learning about sex and relationships, about how to find a place in the world, and about responsibility and reciprocity. Instead, too often, he is learning how to behave in order to be accepted, how to enjoy the material rewards of society, how to betray himself to get a minimal amount of social and economic security, and how to choose from a limited number of predetermined roles. And if he rebels against this, most often, he would be conforming with some peer group who has a kind of a negative identity. So consequently, I mean, this has been going on for a long time. This isn't just new today. This has been happening for generations now, actually. So most adults in our society they don't have these skills. They haven't developed these abilities, most of them. And so they haven't developed an authentic personality. And most men are living in some shame-based version of their boyhood, unable to stand up for themselves in relationships, speak their hearts and minds clearly, and live fully into their responsibilities. Many men live an entire life seeking only the adventurism of adolescent heroism. And they never envision for themselves or society a mature life. And you can see this in many of the people who are designated as our leaders in various spheres of life. And we're really living in what Bill Plotkin calls a patho-adolescent society, one in which there is way too much insecurity, identity confusion, low self-esteem, poor social skills, narcissism, greed, inability to be intimate or experience empathy. And so we've got a big job in front of us, because there's some of this adolescent in all of us, and we're all working together. When we get together with men, this is one of the things that we're doing, is trying to, all of us, grow ourselves up and create the possibility of stepping in more fully into this sense of being a man.